just a little check-in. As usual, I'm not on the side of the Thames path, I'm on the top of the Ridgeway. Really fancy a coffee on the river there at the Swan, which is one of the best places in the whole world for coffee. I thought I'd give you a little mini review on my tubeless tyres. I've gone tubeless for the first time in my life, never had them on any bike, gravel, mountain bike or road bike. I've just been traditional, and I had a few punctures recently and it was, God, just annoyed me, and someone else had tubeless and they kept telling me how great they were because they sort of just kind of seal themselves up and you just maybe whack a bit of air in them and then off you go, you're back on the road. So anyway, I decided enough was enough. I made the leap, and so I put on this bike, which is a Specialized bike with Roval 38 wheels. So yeah, I thought I'd stick with Specialized, although some of the tricky things, isn't it? You sort of look at the reviews of tyres and stuff. Look at reviews of all the gear if you're like me, and the reviews of the Specialized tyres were pretty mixed, to be honest. On the one hand, you've got the sort of press reviews that reckon Specialized tyres are absolutely great, and they sort of say all this stuff about how much R&D Specialized have done on tyres and aero wheels and tubeless tyres, and you know, you'll give them a 9 out of 10 or something like that, and so you'll be thinking, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And then you'll go sort of some real life owners and you look at the wiggle reviews and that kind of stuff, and they'll be sort of saying, yeah, these are a bit dubious, lots of issues with punctures, yada yada yada, they wore out really quickly, I hated them. And you can very quickly convince yourself not to buy something. So anyway, I prevaricated for ages about buying these tyres, and in the end I thought I was just struggling to get hold of Contis, which is what sort of other people seem to kind of rate, because it seems like every man and his dog has recently bought a bicycle and wanted to upgrade the tyres. So anyway, I stuck with Specialized, put my faith in them, never let me down so far. And so I took the bike down to the Specialized concept store, Newbury, and the guys, in about 5 minutes, switched it over to tubeless, and I couldn't believe how quickly they did it. I mean, I couldn't have done it myself because I don't have an air compressor or any of the kind of special air blaster things you need to get them on, but so that's why I took it to the shop. Anyway, how are they performing? I absolutely love them. I absolutely love them. If you've ridden like Specialized Gripton tyres, the S-Works tyres, you'll know what they're like. They're really nice, a really nice rubber compound, and they're really grippy. And I don't know, I've ridden quite a few different tyres, and I always love jumping on a bike that's got a Griptons on them, and the tubeless ones are what you'd expect and some, because they just feel kind of lighter, grippier, they're a bit more comfortable, a bit more kind of supple, they roll a lot better, and basically they're all round mega. And I was super happy about switching. Wish I'd done it before. I mean, the one thing I'll say about them is you have to probably stick 20 psi of air in them each week to keep them tip top, so they lose a little bit more air than maybe running tubes, and I had one little moment where I heard a little hiss of air a week or so ago, and it was, you know, a couple of seconds went psh, and then it stopped, and I felt quite happy about that. There's something, I don't know, puts a smile on your face when you get a puncture and then it just seals itself up again. Happy days. So yeah, so I suppose the one thing I'd say about this whole going tubeless thing is I think getting the wheel and the tyre combination right is probably critical, because I know people have found that a bit of a pain. So maybe stick with, you know, something that you know fits the wheel, and that was why I went with the Specialized grip tins, because I knew they'd fit the Roval wheels perfectly. It's a bit of an investment. The tyres are just over 60 quid each, not cheap, but you got no tubes, and I don't know, spend quite a bit of money on tubes, so I guess I'm hoping that in the long run they probably won't cost me much more, if anything. So yeah, so I've got to say I love them. I mean, other thing to think about if you're going to go tubeless is, you know, I have still got a tube on the back of my bike just in case. I have got a couple of CO2 cartridges. I've got a little tool to fix it if I get a really bad gash. I've got a little bottle of sealant, but to be honest, I can't see myself using it unless I get into a right pickle, because I think if you got a hole so bad that you're having to think about that kind of repair and putting more sealant in and stuff, I mean, you've probably got a bit of an issue, haven't you? So yeah, that's kind of call international rescue time maybe. So yeah, overall 10 out of 10, and there's not many things I get where you sort of say 10 out of 10, but tubeless tyres, Specialized grip tin, S-Works, or whatever they're called, turbos, I think is what they're called, proper name for them, S-Works turbos. Tubeless is their proper, their kind of marketing name, Tubeless, and they are certainly tubeless. Berkshire, welcome to the West. So yeah, we're just, I mean, this is so nice, isn't it? We're coming into Goring and Streatley. It doesn't take very long to get here actually, so it's always a good option for a ride for me, because I can kind of hit these hills here pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm just coming out this way because the Swan boathouse on the river has been closed up, obviously during lockdown. I'm just kind of hoping it might be open so that I can get a coffee and just enjoy the river. So let's turn the camera off and maybe check in back on the river if we get in. Ah, oh, so frustrating. The Swan is open, but it's been overtaken by the coronavirus police, and there's a ridiculously long-winded one-way system to try and get a cup of coffee, which involves taking my bike through the whole hotel pretty much. So I've given up on that one, and I'm going to hope that the other cafe, which is just ahead, is a little bit more welcoming. Well, just had a great coffee, just had a mega Eccles cake. That's got to be one of the best cakes around, isn't it, an Eccles cake? Just decided to change the route a bit, and I'm going to head south back down towards the Ridgeway, towards Compton, and let's just check out that. I've driven through there, but I've never ridden much around there on the road bike. I've ridden it on the mountain bike quite a bit. Anyway, Pierre Ponce in Goring and Streatley is a really good cafe, really good coffee, and anything you've got to get used to is standing up on the pavement these days because there's nowhere to sit down, but apart from that, it's mega. It's always nice, isn't it? The weir at Streatley. See that way? That's where I was hoping to stop. So we've got this little hill at the straight out Streatley, and it goes straight up onto the ridgeway. And I've not cycled up at this side, but a friend told me it was pretty steep. I just seeing the hill in front of me. I mean, it's sort of one of those ones where it sort of appears to be above your head. When it ain't that high, but yeah, you can see the side of the hill here. It's really steep. I'm just going up it slowly because I've got the camera on. But yeah, I'll check in back at the top. I'll turn it off and then we'll see how I get on. I'm always conscious you can never tell how steep something is probably when I'm filming it on the bike. But you can see I'm weaving around a bit. It's only because I'm trying to hold the camera up, but there's a guy ahead of me pushing a bike up. So that gives you an idea of how steep it is. I'm just about at the top of that one. I mean, I passed a guy pushing his bike on the way up. He said it was his second go at this hill. He was annoyed. He still couldn't make it. And it's really steep. I mean, it's called the Hollies on the top, National Trust Place. And where is it? I'll look it up when I get home. That has to be one of the hardest climbs in Oxfordshire, I reckon. I mean, there's Watlington Hill, that's quite a hard one. Howe Hill, that's quite a hard one. I reckon that's as hard. It's really steep and it's pretty hard. I suppose if you're going to tackle that climb, it's probably best to not stop for a coffee and an Eccles cake beforehand, because doing that straight off the bat with a cake on board, I'm definitely a bit of a shock to the system. But when you get to the top, you get a really nice view. I'll flick the camera around. You can see beautiful clouds in the sky today. You've got the sort of grasses and the barleys and whatever just gently blowing in the wind. And it's beautiful when you just see the kind of ripples across the fields and these kind of lovely flowing roads that you get over the top of the ridgeway. You know, tinges of a few kind of flowers in the hedgerows and things. Yeah, it's really what it's all about if you're cycling around here. So of course we're coming crisscrossing over the ridgeway with this route, so getting some decent stretches of climbing, which makes a change for me around here. It's not quite the Peak District like last weekend, but it's nice to be going up and down rather than just on the flat, and it's like a nice varied kind of scenery because you go through the woodlands and open fields, and then you got the bits of river and stuff. So this is a nice ride. I'm liking this one a lot, and I'll definitely put the full details of it in the guide notes. It's just got one of those classic ones because I've gone a little bit in direction I wasn't planning. I'm sort of working out my way back, and classic, you know, Google Maps says, you know, head down this little dirt track behind me. You can see, which I was about to give it a go, but I'm on my road bike, and as you can see, it ain't really cut out for dirt and gravel. Although it's probably not too much of it, but it's probably a mile or so. So I'm going to go, I guess I'm going to be going the long way back. Hey, bit of a slightly longer ride. Let's hope I don't get in trouble when I get home for being a bit late. I suppose the thing is, if I had a gravel bike, I could now have a much shorter ride home, because I'm passing all of the little turn-offs that go straight up onto the ridgeway, and then from there you can go straight down over the other side of the ridgeway on the dirt tracks and the bridle tracks and all that kind of stuff. And so gravel bikes, there is a reason they make sense. So I'm going to get a few more miles in today than I planned, and all the better for it. Look, the lovely field of cows, and you can see the ridgeway rolling in the background. This road from West Illsley to Wantage is an absolute corker. There's hardly any cars. It's a really nice smooth tarmac pretty much the whole way so far, and you get these lovely open fields and rolling hills. It just keeps going up and down and up and down. Oh, it's an absolute treat. It's really really glad I came down this way today. Discovered a new bit of riding. Happy days. Check out that view. It's a sort of valley of overlapping hills. Probably doesn't look much on the GoPro because the angle of the lens is so wide, but it's beautiful. It's really nice. I think we're in for a treat here. We're just coming over the top of the hill. We're coming through a lovely kind of pine woodland with our oaks on the other side here, and look, as we just come down over this hill, suddenly you kind of got West Oxfordshire flattening out in front of you. We've been going up and down quite high up for a while, and look at that. You can see the whole lot in front of you, with the Cotswolds in the background to the north. I think you can see far more reservoir down there. I guess that's what it is. It's a long way away. I mean, it's a really clear day, and look at the view. I mean, I think actually in the background over there, you won't see it, it's probably Cullen where we're heading, and you see the big buildings, the science park buildings, and the hill in the background. Yeah, I can just about see it. You can see absolutely miles. I mean, you can see all the way up to the ridgeway near the M40. We're just crossing the ridgeway here, coming down towards Wantage in the background. Isn't that special? Isn't that nice? Look at the road just like weaving down the side of the hill. As I'm running a bit behind schedule, I'm going to wrap this one up for today and just blast it back home. So, hope you found that useful. I always forget to say this, so I'm going to say this. If you thought this was a half decent video, or even if you like anything else on the channel, it'd be super helpful if you click like and even subscribe if you want to see more of my videos out and about and exploring on the bike and on foot. Okay, see you again soon. Wild, crazy, merry.